Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Meeple Marathon, and today we're going to be playing Runebound. This is the third edition from Fantasy Flight Games, designed by Lucas Lintzinger. This is, I consider to be somewhat of a unique game. There are some aspects in it that are unique, at least amongst my game collection, but I also think it has a lot of charm to it. It's definitely this exploration style game where you're going around and you're going to be exploring these various tokens that you see on the board. They, when you explore them or do an adventure on them, you're going to be flipping over cards that are either intermixed with some generic encounters or the scenario specific encounters. And so the scenario we're going to be playing through today is the Corpse King. He's like the zombie king, essentially. It says the dread necromancer Vorakesh roams Tiranoth, leaving a blight of death and destruction in his wake. He must be stopped, or soon every barony and free city will be overrun by the undead. So, I know that this game did not do as well as Fantasy Flight would have liked, and there's been a lot of criticism for what seems to be just ending its life cycle. And it's interesting because it's a cooperative game. Essentially, everybody's trying to, in this instance, defeat the Corpse King. But there's also this, in the original game, there was this sense of who the people you were playing with essentially running the AI for anybody you battled against, for the monsters. And so it was always this, do you really want to defeat them? Do you want them to die? Or, are we all in this together? It essentially just became a race to see who could build up everything they wanted and then race to get the boss in turn. And I believe, let me just check here what it says the victory conditions are, because just curious as to, I don't even know if it says like whether there's just one winner. Each scenario has its own victory conditions. Read the scenario card before starting. But if no one stops Margath and destroys Temeril, all players lose. So essentially you're trying to be, this talks about the empty throne. I guess you're trying to be the one that lands the final blow, but it was always kind of weird that you were expected to kind of play towards a common goal, but then when it came to running a battle, you were making all these decisions what would be the best for the monsters, and it didn't really sit with me very well, so I tend to play this game solo now. Now, it did come with a set of solo rules in the Unbreakable Bonds expansion, but that expansion, due to Runebound's poor showing initially, had a very limited print run, and it's one of those like Jewels of the Nile type of games right now that's very difficult to find. It's not being produced anymore. There's a high markup value if you buy them secondhand. But really all Unbreakable Bonds did, or the biggest thing they did in my opinion, was add an AI kind of decision-making system. Because Runebound, instead of using dice, uses these tokens that you can see are just standard tokens. They're double-sided. And there are instances where you can recast a token or you can flip a token depending on the symbols that you get. So that's where the decisions of the AI monster comes into play, is when do you double up a token, what do you double up, when do you decide to flip a token, how early in a round, because not only are you casting these tokens, but it's not like, say, Imperial Assault or Descent, it's probably a better term, where you just roll all your dice and you count up all your total attack against someone, you use your surges, and then they roll defense, and they try and cancel as much out. Here, you're allowed to spend tokens, like tokens. So if you had two, battle axes, you could spend both of these at the same time, but you cannot spend both of these and do a surge action at the same time. So I would spend my 3 axes, and then it would be the enemy's turn, and whoever truly deals the killing blow wins the battle. It's not like, ooh, I hit you for 5 damage and you hit me for 5 damage. We each have 5 health points, so we're both dead. And there is no permanent death in this game either. You're simply just knocked down. So what Unbreakable Bonds did was create these combat boards that allowed the solo player or the whoever you're playing with who's controlling the tokens, gives them a very straightforward breakdown of how to administer or use the AI tokens. So this is just an example of one of the boards that's been broken down and displayed very simply, just in a black and white, and this is available for download from BGG from the user what was his name? Mr. Gutis. I'll put a link in the description. I am not going to attempt to pronounce his actual name because I don't want to butcher it. But they look prettier if you actually buy the expansion. But this is all you need to print this off. Took me about 10 seconds, and I'll show you when the time comes how you will cast the tokens. Then you'll lay them out here, and you're essentially just working down from top to bottom of the board. And that way I don't have to think about, ooh, what would the AI player do? What's the most harmful for me? I also can kind of know, ooh, the tricksters tend to do all their tricks first and then just do straight combat. Whereas, a warrior is going to do his combat before his surges, things like that. So we will pull these out and we'll explain combat when the time comes. But for now, just so you guys are aware of how to play, you essentially get 3 actions on your turn. And the most common action you would do is move. And so that's where these dice come in. These are the only dice in the game. They're not the best quality dice. You actually had to apply the stickers yourself. And this is what I have heard is probably people's biggest criticism of the game are these dice. Because you roll them out and then it becomes completely random how you can move. So, for example, if I want to move along these open plains, I could spend this die, which has a plains symbol on it. Or I could spend this one. If I want to move through the hills, I'd have to spend this one. This one would allow me to, say, move through the swamp here or over a river. But it also allows me to move through the mountains. So you can see there's various sides to all of these dice, and they're all the same, and then there's a wild side. So, say I'm here, and I want to make it to this battle token here to be able to take on a battle encounter. Well, I would need to roll 2 hills dice and then a mountain die. Well, if this was my roll, I'm not getting there. This would allow me to get here, but then I can't get up into the mountain. And there is no, you can exert to re-roll a die, but then again, you're at the mercy of the die roll, and you may just not roll a mountain. So there has been a lot of criticism around that, but I think it's just an interesting aspect of the game that I just deal with, and it's one of the things that makes this game unique versus my others, that I can't always just take the exact path I want. I can't just say, oh, I'm going to travel along the bottom of the board here and pick up all these tokens, and then I'll travel this way, and I believe this is where the Zombie King ends up in the Cursed Ruins. The dice may say otherwise, and I may need to change up my strategy, and that's all it is, in my opinion, is changing up your strategy. So you can use one of your actions to move by rolling the dice and deciding where you go, and you can also accumulate more dice to roll per turn by purchasing things like boots of striding and things like that. You can encounter one of these tokens, which actually takes 2 actions. So if you were to move to a token and then encounter it, that's essentially your turn. Anytime you encounter one of these tokens, you'll flip it over and you'll draw the top card that matches the token type. And then there are certain points along the time track here, which is this thing over here on the left, where we'll flip all these tokens back over. That's really the only reason why there are tokens on the board, because the symbols you can see are underneath them, but these aren't randomized. There's always a purple token right here in this spot. There's always a battle token right there in that spot. The last things you can do are you can rest. If you are out in the wilderness per se, you have to roll your movement dice, and for every matching die that you hit that's on the same area that you are, say I rolled this and I'm out here in the plains, you can heal that many health. If, however, you are in a city or a shrine, you can heal everything, and you are going to take damage in these fights. So they make it pretty easy to heal up your damage. You can also train, which means you can take skill cards. Skill cards here, you can see my character has a hand limit of 4, and so I have these various skill cards which I can just discard, face down, it doesn't matter, to exert. Or you may run into situations where you need to discard skill cards. But also, anytime I receive a trophy, which you'll see later, essentially when you finish an encounter, if it says you gain that encounter as a trophy, you take the card face down, and you can see here, like this battle sorcery would need 1 battle trophy and then 3 other trophies of any type. You can spend your trophies at any time on your turn to add these skills to your repertoire. So say for interrogation here, when you defeat an enemy, you may gain a bonus trophy. So normally when you defeat an enemy, you gain the orange card as a trophy. If you built up and learned interrogation here by spending 3 trophies, you would actually get 2 trophies for defeating someone. So there's your skills. And you have a hand limit of 4. Anytime that you train, you draw your hand limit from the top of the skill deck pile, and then you just have to discard back down. So say you've got a bunch of skills in your hand that you don't want to work towards, you can refresh, or if you're down to just 1 skill card in hand because you've been using a lot to exert, you can draw back up and get your hand limit back up again. The last thing you can do if you are in a town, which is Dawnsmore, Tamalier, Forge, or Riverwatch, is you can shop. And you can see that each town has a small little market deck laid out here for each one. And anytime you visit a town and decide to shop, you're going to add a 4th card to the stack. And you either need to purchase 1 or discard 1 so that there is only ever 3 showing, but you'll get the choice of 4. Obviously, you just go over here, you spend gold, purchase the card. If it's an item like a weapon or equipment, you add it to your person. If it's something like this, it's going to tell you where you need to go, and you spend 2, but then you trade it in for 5. So it's a way to make money. You would have to go to any stronghold to trade that card, things like that. So again, you can move, you can encounter your tokens, you can rest or train, or you can shop. Most of the time you're going to be moving and exploring your tokens. There will also be some events that will come up through the story deck of specific places they want you to go, expeditions per se. When you get to those, usually you just take a single action to interact with them. So other times you might come across, like here, you need to spend a single action to trade this card in for 5. So you buy it as 1 action, then you got to move to a stronghold, then you trade it in, that's a single action. So there are these other one-off actions that you can take. But other than that, I think it will go a lot quicker as I explain things. It's a very time-limited game. It cannot just go on and on forever because you have this time track, and between every round, I'm going to tick this down, and when we get to the bottom here, I'll flip my time token here, which currently says 1. I'll flip it over to Act 2, and then that's when the boss comes out, and I have until the end of the time track to defeat the boss. So let's just go ahead and get started. Again, this game's normally to be played with 2 to, I think it's 4 or 5 players, but it can be played solo. And I think that there's a nice pace to it solo because everything moves along quickly. And, it still can be done. You can still defeat the boss with only playing solo. So let's go ahead and get started here. Normally, my character would need to start in, I forget what type of town. So I chose Brightvale, but then her special action during setup is to roll 2 train dice, and then I can move. So I chose to move onto this purple encounter. So for my very first action, I'm going to explore this encounter token. So that's going to be 2 actions, and we'll just see what this has to say. All right, so Will of the Master. I can either, and there's some flavor text, but I'm not going to bother with all that. Rumor, keep this card, and you may spend 1 action in a hex with another hero to force that hero. Okay, so when playing solo, and it is stated in the Unbreakable Bonds expansion rules that when you're playing solo, if you come across a card that tells you to interact with another hero, to simply discard it and draw another one. So here we go. Holy Relics. Pay 1 money to buy a relic. Roll 3 terrain dice. If you roll a wild, take 1 asset with a cost of 4 or less from any market and discard this card. If you do not roll a wild, take this card as a trophy. Or I can test Foresight or whatever that's called, the eyeball symbol, which I have 2. Test to convince the merchants to buy your old flint as a good luck charm. No refunds. Gain 1 and take this card as a trophy. So I think I'd rather have the ability to buy an asset, which is anything that's like a clothing or a weapon. So 4 or less. So let's do that. Roll 3 terrain. I have to pay 1. So I'll pay my 1, get some change here. All right, I started with 3 money, so I spent 1. Roll 3 terrain dice and hope for a wild. Okay, easy enough. There we go, there's a wild. Okay, so I get to choose something. Take 1 asset with a cost of 4 or less from any market and discard this card. Okay, so I have to discard this card, but I get to pick an item that's got 4 or less. Cancel the next attack. Whenever you engage a foe, draw 1 skill card. That one's not bad. Marsh Cloak. That's going to give me a token to flip. And that's pretty much it. That one's going to give me a defense. Do I have a lot of defense? I don't have a ton of defense here. Draw a skill card. I can't afford that one, so it really comes down to Chainmail or the Marsh Cloak. So I definitely like ones that give you a token, and almost all of these options give me a token. So I'm actually going to go with the Marsh Cloak because I feel like it's got the better token to cast. This one simply is just going to give me it gives me yeah, I guess we should go ahead and just take this one. It's more expensive for a reason. So I will replenish the market over here, and then one of the fun things about this game is that I get to find the chainmail. It's going to give me +1 health, so I'm up to 9 now, but it's also going to give me a new token that I'm going to get to flip during battle. And you can see here A10, A10, so I got the right token. And so this, now I get to roll 4 tokens. It's not the best because it's a shield on one side and a blank on the other, but it's giving me +1. It had to have been more expensive for a reason, right? So that was 2 of my actions, and so I really don't have anything else to do. I don't need to rest or train right now. So I'm going to go ahead and move. All right. So let's see here. I could come up here and battle in the Mountains of Despair. I could come over here, but this, I really don't want to be working myself into the corner here. So I could come up here. Question is, am I ready for a battle yet? Oh, why not? So I'm going to spend, let's see, this one to move there, this one to move there, and this one to move up into the mountains, just so you guys can see how that works. Plains match plains, the wild is for the hills, and the mountains are half of that one. So there's my 3 dice. I can move into there, and I can't encounter it yet because I've spent my 3 actions. So I'll move this down the time tracker, and that symbol underneath it says to resolve a story card. Friends and family. Each hero with a companion gains 1 trophy. Okay, I have 1 companion. I started the game with it. In turn order, each hero without a companion may become delayed to gain 1 companion. Okay, so that doesn't matter. All right. So I get a trophy of my choice, and right now the only symbol that I need for anything is orange. So I simply take the top card here and add it to my collection. All right, so then it's my turn again. Moves nice and fast. Let's go ahead and resolve this battle. Okay, Undead Horde. Savage Undead. This enemy has +1 for each zombie and always loses initiative. Okay, so I don't have to worry about initiative. And it's Savage Undead. So the Savage keyword tells me I need to get the Savage combat board here. All right, and so I am now normally some of the in the Unbreakable Bonds expansion, they give you a specific set of tokens for the 4 different types of enemies. In the standard game, all the enemies use the same tokens, so I'm going to be using those. There are apps, and I'll put a link in the description to some of the apps that you can go to online that are like token caster apps that simulate the casting of tokens, and they have the Unbreakable Bonds tokens built in, but I don't like having to deal with a computer while I'm playing. So I put all my tokens into my little bag here, and I'm just going to dump them out. You don't have to do it this way. You could coin flip them every time. It's up to you. All right, so the easiest thing to do here is to pull mine down. Not a very good roll for me there. And then let's stack up all of their tokens. So they actually beat me in initiative, but since they're undead, they don't win. All right, and there's a single. So this is battle. Everybody casts their tokens at the same time, and then to use this board, you simply lay everything out into its specified box, and then you're going to work top to bottom when it's their turn. I, however, have initiative. So let's see here. I don't have anything. Right now I just have a single defense, but I can spend as a combat action 1 surge token to recast one of your spent tokens, even the one I just spent. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to recast this one. So I'm going to spend this surge and recast this token. Since it's just 1, I'm just going to do a coin flip. All right, that was a surge, and I got what I wanted. Okay, so that was my 1 action. Normally I would have removed that surge, but her special ability allows me to keep the token out there. So moving down here, we come to the surge effects. He's got 1 surge, and so his 1 surge says recast any spent tokens. So that one doesn't make sense. He has another one that's just costs 1, and it says Swarm, your foe cannot trigger surge abilities for the rest of this combat round. So I'm glad I went ahead and used mine first. I actually didn't read ahead on the card. So he has spent this token. I'm going to put it off to the side here. And now it's back to my turn. So this is essentially worthless for me because I cannot trigger any surge abilities. So I'm just going to remove this so I don't forget that. That also means that this one is essentially worthless because I have no way of flipping it over. So I'm simply going to spend my 2 axes. He's got no defense, so we'll take 2 damage here and put it on his board, or his card. All right, and he only has 3, so it doesn't take much. Okay, so I've spent my 2. He's then going to come down here, and he's going to spend both of these at once to deal 2 damage. I'm going to counter one of those, so he's going to deal 1 damage to me. I have 9 total health. All right, and then his blanks are worthless. So that's the end of that combat round. So his surge effect said I couldn't use surge abilities for just this combat round. So now moving into this next round, I'll be able to use my surge abilities again. So let's shake these up, and dump them out. Woo. All right. Okay, that goes there. Here's another blank. There's a surge. Lots of surges with her. Okay, boom, boom, and boom. Okay. All right, so again, he doesn't gain initiative even though we're tied, so I would have gotten it anyway. So I'm going to go first, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is simply spend my axe to put one more damage on him, and now he's dead. He does not get to counterattack, anything like that. It's simply as soon as he reaches his maximum, then the thing is over. Just so you guys could have seen what he would have done with this, you can say this one says flip the blank token to the doubler side, first choice. Then he would want you to flip a blank token to the surge side or the skull side, otherwise flip a foe's highest value token. So it gives you all these options, an order of those options on how to spend this. And so this one was the first option, so you'd flip this, he would have spent this, and then this would have been moved up here. So then his next combat action after I went, he would have started from the top again, worked his way down, and he would have doubled his highest skull value. So he would have come down here, he would have added that. That would have been his second action. I would have spent another token. Then he would have come in and hit me for 4, because this is 2, 3, 4. So that's how his decision tree would have worked. But instead, since I had initiative, I only need one more hit. I got my hit in and ended the combat. Okay. So I'm not going to talk through all of that much every time, but that's how it works. So I gain 2 gold. Take a 3 and make some change. And I also gain this card as a trophy. So I'm 2 trophies away. Many of my skill cards here, I could do channel. Once per turn, you may draw 1 skill that you revealed during an attribute test. Or feral strength. I'm not testing strength much, so we'll see. All right, so again, that was 2 actions, and that was my first thing I did on this turn, so probably just need to move. I'm not worried about healing up 1 point of damage right now. All right, so you can see I am stuck in the mountains here. I could come out and go here, but my Laurel of Bloodwood, her special ability, which does not take an action to do, once per turn you may re-roll all of your terrain dice. So I need to re-roll them all, and I could completely get myself stuck here. Ideally, I really just want 1 mountain to be able to go boom, and then the hills, and then another hills, which I have. You may re-roll all of your terrain dice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to re-roll them all, or else it would say any of your terrain dice a single time. So what do I do? Do I just come over here and get ready for another action? That's probably the smart thing to do, instead of hoping for the ability to get here. So I'll take my movement, I'll stop there, and we're done. All right. Time tracker moves down, nothing happens that turn, so it's my turn again. And I will go ahead and interact with a green card. Okay, the green card is actually an enemy that I will need to fight. Surprise! So he's a warrior. Let's find the warrior card. Mystic warrior. Alright, this enemy has -1 initiative, okay. So he doesn't always lose initiative, he just has to reduce 1. Alright, let's see what we got here. Okay, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. Okay, he's got this to spend, 2 blanks, a thing, and then a single surge. So you can see his order of stuff is a little different this time. Alright, so he had 2 initiative to my 1, but he's got -1. So I gain initiative, and I'm going to pretty much do the exact same thing I did last time, which is start by recasting this one. and we got it again. Okay, so that was my battle action. His action will be to come up here, and it says first priority is to flip the blank to the doubler side. Okay, so that's this one. We'll flip it and move it up to there. Okay, back to me. Let's see here. Do I want to cast that or flip that? I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at him. So he's going to take 2 damage. Then his is he wants to double the surge first. So he'll double his surge first, and that's his action. My next action is going to be to try and spend this surge to flip this one. Okay. Got what I needed, but that was my action. So now we come down to him. He's going to hit me for 1. Then we comes back to me. I'm going to spend this to flip this. Do I want that? Hold on. Let me look and see what his surges are. His first surge would be to deal heal 1 damage or deal X damage. And he's got 2, so I'm assuming he's going to go after the double one. So he's going to go after me for 2 damage, and I'm at 2. That's really not that bad. So I'm actually going to flip this one as my combat action. He's going to attack me, deal 2 damage to me. So I'm up to 4 now. Then I will hit him for 1. His number is 5, and then he's got a blank and I've got a blank. Okay, so that was the end of the first combat round. We go again. So you see, there's some uniqueness to this battle system. It's not dice chucking, and these AI sheets work. These are, official Fantasy Flight sheets. It's just that, somebody made it so you don't have to purchase the expansion just to have that knowledge. Okay, so I'm glad I went ahead and attacked right off the bat. Oh, no, he's got a shield. Okay. So surge and a doubler there. Okay. All right, so he's got 1, but he's got -1, so I have initiative here. Question is, do I want to cast... See, I can spend this, but he's automatically going to spend his shield. So I really want to be able to flip this one here. So I'm going to spend my attack action to recast this using the surge icon and hope we get... Nope, came back to this. But I haven't lost that token yet. So essentially I can keep using attack actions until I get what I want with her. So his thing here is going to be to flip a blank that side. I'm going to spend another attack action to do this. Nope. All right. Then he's going to double this. Okay. I'm going to try one more time. I really just want to end this. Nope. Missed it again. He hits me for 1. All right. Oh, wait. I could spend this, though, to cancel that. He's going to hit me for 2 again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spend this again. Man, okay. He hits me for 2. And let's see here. I'm up to 6 now. So things are not necessarily going the way I had planned. And now essentially it continues to be my turn. So I don't see why I wouldn't just say at this point, all right, I could just continue here. He's going to pass. I eventually just get to flip that one, right? Because it does not say there's a limit to how many times I can use my surge action. And it says recast one of your spent tokens, even the surge symbol you just spent. So recasting means I'm going to get to use it. So I'm going to say that, oh no, because I spent this. So it doesn't matter. 2 to his 1, so we're going to have to enter another battle. That was my mistake. Okay, so he's up to 4 now. and I'm up to 6. So hopefully I get at least one symbol. This is kind of telling me I need to get a weapon. Maybe the notched axe over there. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, come on. Nothing. Nada. Alright, but he doesn't have any shields. No doublers. Okay, single. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I don't have any initiative, but neither does he. So I gain initiative. I am going to use that initiative to spend this token to flip this one. Okay. I don't think this one has landed yet. My chainmail is not coming in handy yet. Okay, his first action is to double the surge. So he does that, but then I'm going to spend this and take him out. Okay. So there you go. Ideally, technically, I guess AI player would have said, ooh, I'm going to get a hit in as much as possible. You know, but that's not the decision tree of the AI. So that's how we're going to play it. All right, I gain 1 money and a green reward. And I'm up to 5, so I can purchase my notched axe now. I cannot purchase my true steel axe, which would be nicer though. Ooh, the short bow though. I like that one way up there. Okay, and the short bow's up in Forge, so that's where I want to get to. All right, so that was my first action. Again, I keep basically encountering and then moving. And let's see here. I could get to 1, 2. Nope. Yeah, this is not helping me get to where I want to go. Actually, I could get here. And if at any point you get onto a road, a single move action, you can move anywhere along the road. So I can actually travel from Riverwatch to Forge in a single move action. And anytime you want to move a single hex away, you actually don't need to roll. You can simply just take that single movement. But I'm trying to actually get somewhere here. So let's do that. Boom, boom, boom. It'd be nice just to get onto the road. But this will get me close enough. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then move into there. So that's my movement action. That's the end of my turn. We move this down. Nothing happens again. So now it's back to me. All right. Okay. I could get into here, which is fun. Yeah, let's do that. Wait, I have 3 things. So once per turn, you may draw a skill card that you reveal during attribute test. Ooh, I like this. Okay. All right, so once per combat round, as a combat action, you may exert and test Swirly, which is only 1 right now, to deal 2 damage that cannot be blocked. And that's per combat round. So we're going to focus on that. It means I need 1 more trophy. So yes, we're going to move to here and encounter, spending my dice that way. And we'll encounter the green to try and get 1 more trophy. Okay, so this unfortunately is not going to give me a trophy right away, but this gives me a quest that's personal to me. If I was playing multiplayer, I'm the only one that could take care of this, and this says you must explore the Outlaw Glade. This is another point of contention that I know people, and it kind of bothers me. There's a very minuscule version of the map with 1 little hex, but there's no other words. And the fact that it's so zoomed in, it is not easy to figure out right away where this is. Now, it does say Outlaw Glade, and after looking around, I can see that the Outlaw Glade is right here. But unless you play this game often enough to be like, ooh, I know where the Outlaw Glade is, you know, it could take you a while to figure out where this is. So what I do is I get to keep this card now. It's not a trophy yet. And if I make it up to the Outlaw Glade, then I can explore the Outlaw Glade by rolling dice, and depending on the outcome of the dice is my reward I get. So this just kind of sits off to the side for now. Unfortunately, it was not a trophy. All right, and that was a very quick turn, so we move this down, another story card. Champion of Dawnsmoor. Story quest. Place 2 zombies in Dawnsmoor and 1 companion on this card. Heroes cannot shop in Dawnsmoor while there are zombies there. Spend 1 action, spend 1 trophy to take the companion from this card. Okay, I guess I have to be in Dawnsmoor to take. So there's 2 zombies and 1 companion trapped in Dawnsmoor. Unfortunately, so the way you do this in multiplayer games is you slot it up there into story spot 1, and then you've got all these tokens here that I can take, and I would technically put that there, I guess. I don't know, maybe like it doesn't matter. But that would show everybody where they would have to go at a quick glance to complete story quest number 1. So this was a personal quest. Only I can take it on. The story quest, though, if you're playing multiplayer, anybody can take on. So that's why it sits up there. I don't know if I'm going to be heading back to take on that zombie. Although Vorkaresh gets +1 for each zombie on the board. So maybe I will have to come back to there. Okay, so let's see. I need a trophy. I also need some more money. I want to get to 6 money. I have 4, 5, so I need 1 more money. And then I need to get up to Forge. So I'm going to want to get on the road. So let's do this. Unfortunately, if I take the road to get, say, to here, I can take 1 action, get on the road. I can take a 2nd move action, come down to the end of the road here, and a 3rd action, hop off. So I'm going to attempt to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, move 5 hexes in 2 movements to get here, but then what? Then I'll heal. Or maybe I should just come into Riverwatch and heal. Okay, I think we'll do that. So my first action will be to move. I can move 1 hex for free, puts me on the road. 2nd move action will be to move along the road and stop in Riverwatch. And my 3rd action will be to heal. I'm in a city, so I can heal up entirely. And that was my turn. Boom. All right, this symbol means that we refresh all of these tokens, so I can actually make my way back onto these tokens if I wanted to. And then that's it. So again, you can see that, if I wasn't sitting here explaining everything, things would be moving along quite fast. So let's now figure out what we want to do. That needs to be traded in at a shrine, which it could go up there, but I'm hoping to get a coin from here. Alchemist's belt. Don't really need that. Okay. So let us take a movement action. Hopefully we can get there. Yep. All right. No problem. 1, 2. And then for our 2nd action, we'll encounter combat. Okay. Undead Horde. Savage again. So we're familiar with these guys. And once we get to Act 2, all of the enemies instantly get harder simply by adding an extra token to their token pool. So, all right. Like that. Good, good. And my stupid chainmail never hits. All right, 2 blanks. That's what I like to see. However, 1 shield, 1 surge, and this. Okay. So, Undead always loses initiative, even though it would have won, because it was 2-0, but it always loses, so I get to go first. And I think we're just going to go... I just healed, so I could take this, or I could take... It's going to... swarm and say I cannot trigger my switching abilities, my surge abilities. That's fine. Then it's going to use this. It's going to want to flip the blank. First choice, which doesn't make any sense. Or no, it could double up its shielding. So that's going to double up its shielding, and then it's going to come after me. No, with nothing. So, looking ahead, it really is not trying to hurt me at all, so I'm going to spend as my first attack action to flip this one here. Okay, then it's going to surge. It's going to say I can't use my surge abilities at all. Then I'm going to spend these to do 3 damage. It will put up 1 shield. So it takes 2. Then it's going to spend this to flip. Now see, at this point, I'm going to play fairly and say flipping it to the doubler side would be stupid. So it's going to do that. I have nothing left, so I'm going to pass, and then it's going to hit me for 1. Okay, so let's go to the next round. Okay, looks good, looks good. I should be able... Okay, so he's got... Look at that chainmail, has yet to hit. All right, so... He's got a couple surges here. We know what his surges do. We know what this would flip to. But the point of the matter is I have initiative. He has no shields, and so I will be taking him out. All right. Pretty easy. Straightforward, but I do like how it's refreshingly different from other many other games. All right, so I'm going to gain 2 money and gain this as a reward. Perfect. Exactly what I needed. All right, my turn is over. We move this down. Now, I can do a couple things here. I can draw 1 card, become delayed to game 1. All right. Forge, forthright. Spend 2 to gain 5. All right, so let's move. Trying to decide what to do here. I can go ahead though and spend these 4 trophies to get battle sorcery into the mix here. And I'm looking at this alchemist belt right here. I know I just accumulated enough to be able to go up to forge and buy that, but the alchemist belt is going to give me +1 eyeball, which will help my battle of sorcery symbol. So just get rid of these. I think I'm going to try and move into Riverwatch here. Okay, easy peasy. And again, to move into a city, you can spend any die. So even if I'd only rolled those 2, I could have spent 1 for the plains and then this one to get into the city. All right. So as my second action, I'm going to shop, and I'm definitely buying this alchemist belt. Okay. Now the question is can I buy more than one thing? Let me check real quick. Shopping, shopping, shopping. Shop. Draw the top card. Oop, I forgot to draw the top card. So I could have purchased this if I wanted to. Leather armor. Nope. Same as my chainmail. Chainmail's better. Okay. Draw the top card and add it to this. There are now 4 cards. Whenever the asset... Blah, blah, blah. Sell assets. Optional. A hero can sell any asset cards he or she has. Buy or discard 1 asset. Hero must either buy 1 asset card or discard 1. Hero cannot buy more than 1 asset card during each shopping action. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is take a second shopping action, and I'm going to purchase... Oh wait, I get to look again. Cursed Claw. Ooh. Ooh. That's going to give me 3 and a new token, which has got a doubler on it. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm going to purchase the Cursed Claw. Oh, but this is equipment. Oh no, because that's -1. So I'm not doing that. Not paying attention. All right, we're going to go back with our relic here. Give me 1 back. Okay. All right. So my turn's done now. Move this down. Story card. Hero of Forge. Story quest. Place 2 zombies in Forge and 1 companion on this card. Okay, well, good. I am headed to Forge right now anyways. So 2 zombies in Forge. I'm going to take this off because I don't really need that. It's distracting. Okay. 3 actions. Take the companion from this card. Ugh. Okay. Place 2 zombies in Forge and add 1 companion on this card. Heroes cannot shop in Forge while there are zombies there. Okay. So, I'm just going to put this over there. It says here on the Corpse King scenario sheet, whenever a hero enters a hex with a zombie, he or she takes 2 damage. Enters a hex with a zombie. Doesn't say anything about multiple zombies. A hero may spend 1 action in a hex with a zombie to kill it and gain 1 money. Killed zombies are removed from the board. At the end of Act 1, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. All right, that was the story event. So I'm going to take 1 action to travel all the way up here and move into Forge. Okay, I have to take 2 damage. All right, I'm up to 3. Okay, so that was 1 action. Now, I can take an action in a hex with a zombie to kill it and gain a coin. So my next 2 actions, I'm going to kill these 2 zombies. It's going to give me 2 coins. Okay. And that is my 3 actions for my turn, so this moves down. Next turn, I'm going to spend 3 actions to... No, I'm not. Because I know that really having... Okay, I really only need 1 companion at a time. And it doesn't say I lose my companion. Heroes cannot shop in Forge. Take the companion from this card. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about me losing my companion because I entered the zombie area. Alright, so I'm in Forge. I can shop now, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shop for my weapon here. Spending 6. Wait, I only have 5. Okay, I can't do that yet. I thought I had gotten back up to 6. Okay, unfortunately, I will need to travel once. I will spend my relic to get 5. So there's that action. Whoops. 5, 6. We'll just make some change. And I'll use my 3rd action to heal. Okay, this pushes down. I am going to spend 1 action to move back into Forge. Spend an action to shop. Gain. Well, let's take a look at what our 4th card is. A Scouting Orb. Ooh, but that one gives me +1. But it doesn't give me a token, so it's not better than my Alchemist Belt necessarily. Okay. So I get this. I get to pick up the short bow token, which is somewhere here. Oh, right here. 007. CO7? No. CO5. That's a longbow, I guess. CO5. Okay, they are different. CO7 was a little better. Alright. So I get to add this to my mix. And that was my 2nd action. So now my 3rd action, I guess, needs to be taking out the zombies, because the zombies make the Cursed King stronger. Yeah. Is there anything else I want to do up here? Ooh, the Outlaw Glade. So let's attempt to move towards the Outlaw Glade, although that's really only going to be giving me... That's not gaining me really anything. So yeah, let's spend our third action to travel all the way down the road to come here, and I'll have to take 2 damage for entering this location. Okay, but that's my entire turn. We come down here. We're going to read a story card. Scorched Earth. Place 1 zombie in each town. Oh boy. Heroes cannot trade goods in towns with zombies. A hero that kills a zombie in a town rolls 1 terrain die. If he or she does not roll a terrain symbol that matches his or her hex, that hero discards 1 companion. Okay. So I'm going to leave this up here so I remember. But essentially, I've got to flood all the towns with zombies. So this just got... Nope, that's not a town. That's not a town. Actually, there's not that many towns. Borough Town. Town. Everton. Town. Market Town. Oh. This is just dirty right here. 2 separate towns right on top of each other. Okay. All right, so that's a pain. But that's the story card. So for 2 of my actions here, I will take this. I will take 2 money. And I guess I should go over here and take care of this. So let's go ahead and move. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. I have to take 2 damage again for entering zombie. Okay, and that was my 3 actions. Okay, this slides down. We refresh tokens. I actually don't think there's any... Nope, this 1 needs to be flipped. And this will be my final turn of Act 1. So I'll take 1 action to take out this zombie. It's going to give me some money. What don't I have? I feel like I maybe buy a better... I could go buy the Trust Steel Axe now from Tamalier. Okay, so this was 1 action. I feel like I'm in a good spot as far as weapons and tokens are concerned. Yeah, I actually kind of like the short bow. It's going to give me 1 point of damage anytime I engage someone. So, there's really not a whole lot here that maybe trade in for my rogue's gear, come back over to Riverwatch. Okay, I guess we're just going to be taking out some zombies now. I'm getting plenty of money from the zombies. That was 1 action. 2 actions, I guess, to get up here to back to Dawnsmore. And travel to here. Alright, 1, 2, 3, perfect. And then my 3rd action will be, yeah, to move into here. And I will take 2 points of damage. Alright. Okay, so that was it. That is the end of Act 1. At this point now, the Corpse King, who is represented just by a single token here, is going to enter into the Cursed Ruins. And all it simply says is if I am in the same hex as him, I can spend 1 action to flip this over and engage with Vorakesh. So, we will pick up Act 2 in our next video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to make sure you don't miss Act 2 in our next video. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.